Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. Here we are, brand new year, and an opportunity to create a year that we would love. We do not get a choice about if we're going to create. We are creative beings. And the opportunity then becomes, am I going to create by design or by default? And default would be repeating the same patterns over and over and over again. Design is where we say to this blank slate of this new year, let there be. And we design it in a way that we would love. So this is an opportunity to really create a vision for a year that you would love. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on how to create a vision for your life that you would love. And I also want to encourage you to attend my signature event, the Vision Workshop, coming up here in a couple of weeks. You can be with us virtually or in person, and it is a powerful way to set you up for success in this new year. So make sure you get registered. All right, let's get started. How do you create a vision for a life that you would love? The first question that we're going to work with as we're designing your vision is the question, what would I love? What would I love is such a highly calibrated question, and it's so different than the question most of us ask ourselves. We typically ask ourselves, what do I think I'm capable of? What can I do with the time that I have? Based on my experience, what should I be doing? We'll look to the opinions of other people for feedback as we're setting our goals. But the question, what would I love, really allows our imagination to run free, to really give ourselves permission to dream like we did when we were kids. And the important thing when we're visioning is to give ourselves permission to put the how on hold. And that can be tough to do. Oftentimes we don't want to vision or create a dream of something that we don't know how to create, but it's actually essential in creating a vision for a life that you would love is to be willing to put the how on hold. So imagine with me, it's December 31st of this year, and you have lived this incredible year, and you've had some really great results in your health. You've had some wonderful new relationships or deepened connection and intimacy. You're doing work in the world where you really feel passionate and purposeful. And you have this freedom with your time and your money. And just imagine for a moment what's happening in your life. And what are those results? And the clearer you are with that picture, and you come from the end in mind. Highly successful people come from the end in mind. They know where they're going. They know what that end result is. And when we know where we're headed, we see different opportunities. We see different resources that other people would miss because you have a destination in mind. If you're not sure what it is that you want to create this year, there's two things that you can look at. You can look at the areas in your life where you're not happy. Think about the times of your day where you feel that contraction or that dread. Maybe it's you're driving home to an empty house. Maybe you're walking up the stairs and you're feeling winded and you're just feeling so frustrated that you haven't been able to achieve those health goals. Think about maybe when it's time to pay your bills at the end of the month and you feel this dread. Think about the areas of your life where you're not happy. That's really powerful and important feedback to help you get clearer on what it is that you do want. Because if you look at what you don't want, you can look at that and say, okay, if it wasn't this, what would it be? And we flip the script. So if I'm not winded when I'm walking up the stairs, maybe it's I'm easily running up the stairs. I feel vibrant. I'm energized. I've got great endurance. And you can see how what you don't want becomes really good feedback to help you get clear on what you do want to create this year. So we look at where we feel that contraction or that discontent in our life. And the other place to look at is those yearnings, those longings, the parts of your day that you absolutely love. Or maybe there's something that you've just, ever since you were a little kid, you wanted to do this. You wanted to go see that place in the world or meet that person. Or you've always wanted to write that book or stand on that stage or start that business. You have these things and these ideas that are just your desires, that are uniquely yours. And what if you could achieve those? What if you gave yourself permission to put the how on hold and really vision for what your soul is calling for you? So we look at those areas in our life where we have that feeling of contraction or discontent, and we look at those areas in our life where I love doing this, or I've always wanted to do this, and that'll help fuel your vision for this next year. So we ask the question, what would I love? We're painting some pictures in our mind of what that result would be. A few other ways to work with your vision that really become essential if you don't just want it to be a vision but turn it into your reality is to work with the words I am. We want to work with our vision in the present tense. A lot of times when we're setting goals, we say things like, one day I will, or I'm going to, and we're leaving it somewhere in the future. The thing is, our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And so the more that we work with our vision in the present tense, I am living this life, I am in this experience, and we speak it in the present tense, our subconscious mind goes to work on creating that experience now. So write your vision in the present tense using the words I am. And the other piece when you're writing your vision is we want to bathe it in gratitude. Gratitude is such a powerful energy. So if you say inside your vision, I am so happy and grateful now that, and imagine how grateful you're going to be when you're in that relationship, when you're doing the work that you love, when the book is published or you're on that trip, you're going to be pretty grateful. So what can you do to generate that feeling of gratitude now? So writing your vision in the present tense, I am so happy and grateful now that. And you write your vision with lots of imagery, lots of descriptions and pictures of you living that life in the present tense. The last piece to really support you in creating a vision as we're going into this new year is to add to the bottom of that vision this or something even better still. I see this a lot with clients as they say, I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to, make my vision too small and miss out on an opportunity. And what that allows for is for the universe to really work its magic, is this is the best I can imagine in this moment, but I'm open to my life being even better. And I can't tell you how many clients I've had that have said to me, Stacey, my life is even better than I ever could have imagined. And that's what you want for yourself. And so as you're imagining and designing this year in a way that you would love, we open ourselves up that it could be even better. Even better. Here we are, this brand new year. You get to decide, will I live this year by design or by default? Next week, I'll be talking about how do you now take this vision and keep it top of mind so it doesn't just become something that you forget about in a few weeks. So next week's video will be about how do you keep that vision top of mind. And so this week, I highly encourage you to spend some time designing a life that you would love. And I'll see you next week.